Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a horror review. Tonight we got an absolute classic. We're going back to 1973, 1974 with a Spanish-Italian film, but filmed in England. And we're looking at a zombie classic. We're looking at Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue, or Let the Sleeping Corpse Lie, which is the other title. Sorry, I had something on my screen there. Yeah, this is the DVD release from Anchor Bay. This still hasn't had a UK Blu-ray release. This comes with a quite a nice sort of booklet with all sort of photos and makings of and stuff about the cast and all this sort of wonderful thing. Now, this is based in the Lake District, Windermere and Yorkshire. Although it's called Manchester Morgue, most of this isn't filmed in Manchester. And it's about George, who's this guy who runs this shop in Manchester, and he's going away for a weekend to meet up with friends. And he shoots off on his motorbike off to Windermere, which is in the Lake District, for his weekend away. And he stops off at a garage to get some petrol on the way, and there's a woman pulls up in her Mini, and she's our female lead. I don't know her name. Let me see if I can find me glasses anywhere. Oh, you know what I'm like, guys. I am the most disorganized YouTube channel in the universe. I really am. I can't find me glasses anywhere. Never mind. But anyway, she's our lead, and she crashes her Mini into the back of his bike, and his bike needs a new tyre, which can't be fixed till Monday because the tyre's got to come from Glasgow. So he then invites himself into her car and driving it, says, you know, you better give me a lift to Windermere, it's the least you can do. And she's going up to see her sister. Her sister's like a drug addict and living with this strange photographer guy. And we'll get to see them later in the film. Anyway, so they start off on their road trip and driving away, and they go past this Manchester morgue lorry. Now this is where the morgue bit comes from, sort of thing. And they go past it. They overtake it. There's zigzagging all over the road because the lorry won't let them by. But eventually they get by. And then they come to a crossroads where one way goes towards the woman's sister and the other one goes towards Windermere, where George is going to go for his night out. And she tells him to stop the car because he starts to drive towards Windermere. And he said, please stop, I've got to go and see my sister. Look, how about this? If you drive me to my sister's, you can take the car. I'm thinking, will you do that? But anyway, he gives in the end, and he sort of drives, reverses back, and takes her off towards where her sister lives. But they get lost because a lot of the areas look quite samey, and they come towards this sort of river and past this church and past this cemetery. And so they're a bit lost. So George goes out the car and goes up to, this is a local farm, Lewis Farm, and he goes up there to sort of get some sort of directions. And our female babe gets out the car and she starts having a little wander around the car. Anyway, George gets up to the farm and he sees this strange equipment in the field with the farmer and his sort of scientists. And it's like this radioactive sort of instrument that they're using to hopefully make the crops grow quicker. But inevitably, what this radioactive thing does on the ground, it brings the dead to life. And so right down back by the car where our female is, sure enough, we get a zombie. It used to be like a vagrant or homeless guy. It used to live around sort of river area, you know, and he turns up. Apparently he drowned in the river, so he's come back to life, and he starts stalking the girl, runs to the car, and we get a little bit of a classic Night of the Living Dead sort of scene where he's sort of running towards the car and she's in the car and his hand comes in the car, and we see our zombie and he's like, He looks like me. He's got a big beard and stuff, but he's got red eyes, and so we see him. Anyway, she runs off towards George and the farmer, Lewis, and when they turn and look at the car, there's no one there. Anyway, so they don't believe her at first. We then cut to Mr. Eyebrows. This is our lead sister's, I don't know, partner or whatever, but he's a photographer. And he's got the most massive, makes my eyebrows look normal. He's got his huge eyebrows. And he's sort of like doing photography of these flowers. And he goes, and we then meet her sister, who's sort of like this strange, very pale looking, petrified looking woman. And she thinks she's been held there. I think because they're trying to help her deal with her drug habit. I'm not sure, but anyway, she's been held there by Eyebrows. Anyway, Eyebrows decides to go off to the river to do some photographs, and the sister stays there. And then our zombie turns up again at the house and starts stalking the sister. She runs down towards the river where Eyebrows is, and Eyebrows fights with the zombie trying to save her, but gets killed by the zombie. And then our two heroes turn up, and the sisters realise that they're both sort of being attacked by the same guy. And then local shop guy shows them the newspaper of like the homeless guy drowning. He goes, that's the one that attacked me. But then all these sort of living dead come alive because of this radioactive experiment they're doing on the field has triggered the dead. And that's what I'm going to tell you about the synopsis, because it's a really cool film. It is a bit of a slow burn, I will give you that. It's not the most active and moving of zombie films. It does move at a very snail pace. The pluses of this edition is there isn't none. It looks awful. It's really blurry and looks really dated. And no one, 88 Films, Arrow, Second Sight, 101 Films, Radiance Films, none of these companies have picked this film up. Why not pick it up? It needs a better release, because this release is quite blurry. And it's a shame, because you've got amazing shots of the Yorkshire countryside and of the Lake District, and some shots of Manchester at the beginning. Very, very 70s. It looks absolutely wicked, and the story is pretty cool. It's all based around humans again messing around with the ecosystem, trying to speed up growing, but inevitably doing that, they've triggered this calamity of event where the living dead come to life, and we get zombies in the English countryside. There is gore in the film. It's a long time coming, but there is some gore in the film. And it's really, really cool. It's very, very strange having an Italian, Spanish, mostly Spanish, but with Italian people working on it. Filmed here in England. It's like, why wouldn't you film this in over in Spain or Italy or anywhere but England? But they did, and they've done a good job. It's good. It's a great zombie film. I'm going to give it an amazing watch and give it an 8 out of 10. It is a really cool zombie film. It is a zombie classic. It's sort of like, not, because obviously we had Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead. I believe this was just before Dawn of the Dead, if I'm right. But you can see the influences of Romero upon this film, of the bleakness, the countryside, because if you've seen Night of the Living Dead, a lot of that is in the countryside, and it's in sort of bleak areas with like local folk, and this is the same. It's got that sort of environment going on, and like I said, you get little clippets that remind you of Night of the Living Dead, like the car sequence and all these sort of things. And when Eyebrows attacks the zombie, that's very like Night of the Living Dead, you know, they're coming to get you, Barbara. It's very, very much like that, you know, when her brother gets killed by the zombie. It's very, very similar. He also tries to hit the zombie with a rock and all this kind of thing. It's some influence is definitely in it, and it's a really cool film. Like I said, the only thing that ruins this film is the fact that the picture quality is not very good, you know what I mean? And it needs revamping. This does have a 5.1 soundtrack on there, which is really cool, and it does have some special features. It's got a widescreen presentation, it's got interviews with the director, it's got TV spots, it's got trailers, and it's got a photo gallery, and it's got the collector's booklet. So, you know, weren't a bad release at the time for Anchor Bay. You know, this was a good release back then. But I've had this for so many years. I can't remember how long I've had this. It's been out a long time. And I bought this when I can't remember the name of the store. We had like a video store in the town, and something like Playhouse or something like that, I think it was. Or it might have even been Blockbusters. I think I got that in Blockbusters, actually. Like cheap, like a SNX rental, but it's still got the booklet in that with it. So I remember buying that in Blockbusters, that's right, in Stevenage. So that's really cool, and I've still got it since then. And I've always been waiting for like an update release. Now, they probably have got that in America. You're probably in Europe as well. You probably have got a Blu-ray release. But here in UK, we are very, very slow off the mark of this sort of thing. We just don't tend to get it. And it's such a shame. But we do when some companies like Arrow and 88 Film pick it up. Why on earth they haven't picked this up is beyond me. It can't really be a copyright issue because it's on Anchor Bay, you know what I mean? So I couldn't see why it would have an issue getting released. Maybe they just don't like it, but I do. 8 out of 10. Living Dead at Manchester Morgue. Any of you guys seen it? If you have, let me know down below what you think of it. It is a classic zombie film. It follows zombie films of the past, and it went on to maybe influence others. There's bits of Plague of the Zombies in this as well, obviously because of the English countryside. But it's got some obvious sort of looks in it. The zombies do look quite cool in this as well. I do like the red eyes. They're quite evil looking when they see the red eyes. But it is a great film, really cool. Just needs an up-to-date release, and it's such a shame no one's picked it up. Guys, go and check out some horror channels for me. Check out Horror Hands, Horror Geek, Manvin Film, Morris Design, Pizzuel. I'm Ice Lord, Cat Watches Horror Movies, Grumpy Andrew's Haunted House, Popcorn and Horror, Sammy G's World of Cinema, and a massive shout out to my lad. Till next time, look after yourselves, look after one another, and I really hope I'll see you all soon.